Read to Me is proudly sponsored by Clark County Education Association Community Foundation. The Gum Chewing Rattler by author Joe Hayes and read by our very own Las Vegas mayor, Oscar Goodman, the happiest mayor in the universe.
This, I think, is a very scary book, even though when you see the title, The Gum Chewing Rattler, it doesn't sound that scary, but you'll listen and you'll be scared too. Here we go. When I was a kid growing up in Arizona, I used to love to chew bubble gum. I always had a big juicy wad of bubble gum in my mouth. I'm not talking about one piece of bubble gum. I put 2 or 3 pieces of gum in my mouth at once. I might even put 6 or 7 pieces of bubble gum in my mouth at the same time. I would be chomping away on bubble gum all the time, even when I was in school. My teacher would see the wad in my mouth and snap, "Get rid of that gum." I had to take the gum out of my mouth and wrap it in some paper and throw it in the waste paper basket. I didn't really care. I always kept another package of bubble gum right in my shirt pocket. My mom was the one who would really get mad at me, though, because I would forget to take the gum out of my shirt pocket. I'd throw my shirt in the wash with all the other dirty clothes. Now, I grew up a very long time ago, and my mom had one of those old-fashioned wringer washing machines. We never see them anymore, but her washing machine didn't spin. She had to put each piece of clothing through the wringer, and the rollers would squeeze the water out. She would put my shirt through the wringer, and the rollers would squish the bubble gum right into the cloth and make a big, gunky stain all around the pocket. My mom would say, "Look at this, you've ruined another shirt." But then one day something happened that changed her mind, and she never got mad at me again for carrying gum in my shirt pocket. And now the story is going to get really scary. That day I was walking around out in the desert, kind of daydreaming, chomping on my bubble gum and not paying attention to where I was going, and I stepped right on a rattlesnake's tail. The snake couldn't rattle and warn me because I was standing on his tail. So he didn't even worry about warning me. He just came striking up through the air, aiming his fangs right at my heart. That rattlesnake hit me, bam, right on my shirt pocket. That's where I was carrying my spare bubble gum. And the rattlesnake's fangs stuck in the bubble gum. There I stood with my foot on the rattlesnake's tail and with his fangs stuck in my shirt pocket. He was thrashing around and whipping up against me. I was so scared, I couldn't even move. I just froze there, staring into his beady little eyes. Look at this, if you don't think this is scary. Those eyes were just looking hate back at me. The snake started working his jaws all around, trying to get his fangs out of the gum so that he could get back at me and really bite me good. But, of course, as the snake was working his jaws around, trying to get his fangs out of the bubble gum, the gum kept getting softer and softer. The next thing I knew, there was a little pink bubble coming up out of the rattlesnake's mouth. It got bigger and bigger till it was twice, maybe 3 times, the size of a basketball. I got up all my courage. I brought my hand up slowly and pop, I broke the bubble. The snake went flying back and his head hit on a rock and it knocked him out cold. But that did take all my courage. I fainted. I fell out in the other direction. I didn't come home for lunch. My mom came looking for me. She found me lying there on the ground, and lying in the other direction was a rattlesnake with bubble gum all over its face. My mom asked what had happened, and I told her the same story I just told you. You know what? She didn't believe it. Did you?
We want to thank our sponsors for making this story possible. This story is provided to you by written permission from the publisher Cinco Puntos Press. All rights reserved.